HVS requires you to play on build 3420 as you need to take the radio from the vault into the next map. On later builds, the radio has this red light and will cause a game crash as soon as the level transitions. The 3420 package is available from the link in the description. To start, you need to do a little bit of setup. The commands here will be listed in the description if you want to copy and paste them. Open up your autoexec and add the following lines. This creates a new bind that will allow you to perform infinite sensitivity strafing, which you need for this route. This disables a rate limit that can cause long load times when doing a lot of save loads. You'll now want to edit your Portal.bat and add -nominidumps to the end. This prevents the game from creating a memory dump every time the game crashes, which will quickly clog up your Portal directory and take up a lot of storage space. If you don't already have it installed, you'll also need to install SST. This is how you can reset item save glitch without having to restart the game. There's a link to a separate SST install video in the description if you need it. In-game, you'll want to set up binds for infinite sensitivity strafing, resetting ISG, and save loading at different FPS. If you don't already have a toggle duck bind, you'll need one of those as well. I'd also recommend adding a speedrun start bind on one of the function keys so you can press it immediately after the game opens. HVS causes crashes extremely frequently, so being able to reopen the game and start another attempt immediately will save you a lot of time. Finally, run host_write config to ensure all of these binds are saved, as a game crash will reset them all otherwise. As soon as you gain control, grab the radio from the table by looking way above it and pressing use. Press it against the ground, move forward and left click to knock it over. Now jump and hold crouch like you were going to land on it, but press your infinite sensitivity strafe bind just before landing. This should cause you to float in midair above the radio. At this point, you'll want to wait about a second before uncrouching to touch the radio. Uncrouching early causes a crash most of the time, and the behavior can actually vary based on your hardware. Until you're at a very high level, it's best to just wait an extra second for consistency. The game might still crash when you uncrouch, but most of the time you should see a view pop up as you touch the radio. If the radio snaps into an upright orientation, reset the run straight away to avoid a crash. Let go of your infinite sensitivity strafe bind and walk backwards off the radio. You again need to remain perfectly still for about a second, but you can still pick up the radio during that time. Then, press the body of the radio against the cup. If the cup breaks, just reset the run because ISG won't be activated. If the cup instead falls through the table, save load. At this point, ISG should be active, although sometimes it won't activate even if the cup fell through the table. Jump into the corner above the table and press your toggle duck key. You'll need to turn to avoid getting stuck on the radio. Now, looking at about a 45-degree angle toward the bed, you'll want to jump and bring the radio down into your hitbox around the peak of your jump. I should note that jumping out of a toggle duck here is important, as a regular jump brings your feet up and makes it impossible to clip the radio into your hitbox. Once the radio touches you, you should freeze midair. If you don't, it means ISG failed to activate. From here, you need to do around 7 or 8 save loads. It depends on the height at which the radio first touched your hitbox. Your goal is for the player to be partially clipped into the table, which will start redirecting your velocity upwards. Do save loads one at a time, keeping an eye on your velocity. Once it starts to change continuously, wait for it to reach a stable value. As you get more comfortable with HVS, you can do these first save loads blindly to land exactly in the right spot, just make sure they aren't first tick save loads. If you don't know what that means, I'll explain later. Once your velocity is stabilized, start doing 30 FPS save loads to start moving up. These save loads can be first tick, but they don't have to be, which makes this sequence really easy to do. 30 FPS reduces the total number of save loads you need to do, saving some time in theory, but also tends to redirect the player off to the side. If you find you're frequently ending up outside the vault instead of above it, you can try 300 FPS save loads instead. You need to reach a height of 464 to escape into out-of-bounds space. Each save load will move you upwards, but the exact height gain will depend on the speed you got while inside the table, as well as the FPS you're save loading at. Fortunately, you can stop save loading to check your height whenever you need. An important thing to note is that you need to bring the radio with you, and doing more than about 30 first tick save loads will cause you to drop the radio, so do at least one save load that isn't first tick around that point. Once you're above the vault, you need to walk towards the elevator. It's frustratingly common to get stuck on the ceiling here, but avoiding walking above the walls of the vault seems to help. Come to a full stop underneath the ending elevator. This next part is the most technically demanding part of HVS, as it requires us to do 9 first tick save loads in a row. Performing a first tick save load means allowing only one single tick to pass between each save load we perform. You can easily judge this by looking at your timer. It should go up by 0.01 and then 0.02 back and forth. If it jumps ahead by more than that at any point, it wasn't a first tick save load. Fortunately, you can buffer save load inputs, so with a stable rhythm you can consistently ensure that only first tick save loads make it through. I find it helps to press your save load key a lot faster than the actual speed of your loads. Save loads only have an effect on the game when your timer increments by at least 1 tick, so pressing multiple times and only seeing it move once means you really performed just one save load. By using a faster rhythm, only every second or third input will actually result in a save load, and this makes it a lot easier to chain first tick save loads. The exact rhythm depends heavily on how fast your computer is, but it's easy to tell if you need to speed up or slow down. If your timer isn't moving at all, you need to slow down slightly. If your timer is jumping ahead by more than a couple hundredths, indicating your save loads aren't first tick, you need to speed up. To clip into the elevator, we need to perform a void clip. To do this, you need to jump and save load on the first tick of the jump. This isn't too hard to do, it just requires you to press 2 keys 1 tick apart. You can easily judge this by looking at your velocity, which should show 146 if you jumped from a standstill. If it shows 137 or another lower number, your save load was too late after the jump and you need to reload a save. If it shows 0, you save loaded too early. If your save load was on the right tick, you now need 9 first tick save loads in a row to make it into the elevator. That means watching the timer and counting 9 increments. If the timer goes up by more than a single tick each time, your vertical velocity will be cancelled and you'll start going down instead. If you ever end up back inside the level, this is why. Once you're under the ending elevator, jump to activate it and press your reset ISG bind. We're done with the first map now, and we need to set up for the second. Face an angle of 90 and place the radio on the ground. Then jump, crouch, and press your infinite sensitivity strafe bind to hover above it like before. Hold this position until the level transitions. After the load, wait for about a second before uncrouching. Let go of your infinite sensitivity strafe bind, walk off, and stand completely still for a second. Again, you can use this time to pick the radio up. Having waited long enough, hold the radio above your head, walk forward, and drop it. You should immediately be teleported to beside the portal gun. Sometimes you'll just get a black screen and the game might crash, but if you wait long enough, it should work most of the time. Save load immediately after you've teleported to avoid a consistent game crash, then grab the portal gun. You successfully completed Hyre Vault Skip and can continue with whatever route you want. The orange portal in O2 doesn't open until around 5.5 seconds, so you don't need to rush the start of the map.